Dan Illman, Mike Beer kicking off a 50-cent pick four on Fountain of Youth Saturday at Gulfstream Park with race number 7. Let's throw up the field for the Grade 3, the very one stakes. We're going 1 mile and 3/16 on the turf for fillies and mares. $150,000 is the purse. This is a long distance race for long-winded mares. It is a big field. You're catching some of these mares off layoffs, however, Mike, and it'll be interesting to see how those layoff horses perform.
Yeah, layoffs are going to be important here. You see who's ready and who's not. I also thought the distance sort of came into play because some of these horses may want to go a little bit longer than this. And then, of course, there's some horses who maybe don't even want to go this far. So it's interesting. They all kind of meet in the middle.
I am not sure where the pace is actually going to come from in this race. We're going to throw up Timeform US's projector. I would have the 7 Romantic Pursuit out there on the lead myself. She's fresh off the layoff. Yep. Her best races have come when she's forwardly placed. I think she's going to make the front. I know La Signare made the lead in the Honey Fox. I know she is stretching out in distance and has probably chased some faster fractions. But I think Romantic Pursuit's going to be fresh off the bench.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Romantic Pursuit made the lead in here either. But man, La Signare does sort of feel like a one-way kind of horse. It almost feels like she has to be in front to run her best race.
Layla Noor, the number 1, I do agree with Timeform US. I think she's probably going to be saving ground just off the leaders, and she's run some decent races in the past. Last time out, she was the beaten favorite at Tampa Bay. We'll watch that race right now. Now winners of 2 other than. The winner of this race was able to make the front. Layla Noor is in behind horses, the number 5 in the Green Hatton. She just makes up incremental ground late. This winner did come back to run 3rd, but for a $40,000 optional claiming tag at the fairgrounds with a 78 buyer. I was a little disappointed with this race.
Yeah, I mean, she didn't run great in here, Dan. She probably didn't really have a fair chance either. The horse that won the race just got loose on the lead, went a slow pace, and then sprinted home in 23 and change. I mean, Layla Noor probably didn't really have a fair chance. On the other hand, she hasn't won a race since she was a 2-year-old. So that's why she's such a big price on line. She's actually run some really good races, and I really do think this is a good distance for her. I thought that she was sort of interesting to use somewhere at a big price.
You mentioned distance as being a key handicapping factor for this race, and the number 2 Tariqa is now turning back to the distance of her win in the Via Borghese 2 starts back, and I liked the way she won that race. She sat mid-pack in between horses, angled 4 wide turning for home, and was very game to win that race. Were you surprised at how far back she was in the early going of the La Prevoyante last time out? I mean, there was no pace whatsoever. She was stretching out. She really tried hard, considering that Mean Mary was allowed to walk on the lead.
Yeah, she had no chance last. I don't even, know that she really wants to go that far anyway. But once her stablemate, Mean Mary, got loose on the lead, this horse didn't have any chance. I thought she ran fine to be 3rd. And like you, I really liked her win 2 back at this distance. Johnny V rode her very, very confidently in that race, and she came with a really good finish to get up in there. I really liked that effort from her.
So she turns back in distance, might get a little bit more pace this time around. 8-1 on the morning line sounds like value. The 3 is Queen of Time, and I'm not going to be fooled by that 3 for 26 lifetime record. She's run some good races against decent company overseas. She's group placed in France, and that last race against the boys, that was a 30-horse field and one of the richer handicaps in England. It's already produced 3 next out winners. The winner of that race came back to run 2nd in another rich handicap, then won a listed race. So maybe she was in a little tough in there at 50-1.
Yeah, probably in tough in that race. Then you go back 3 on her card. She's in against Fanny Logue, and she caught some tough fields towards the end of her campaign last year. I think she actually is an interesting horse in here, mostly because she does have some good form. And just, if you use a formulator, look up Graham Motion's numbers with horses like this. With these imports on turf, first time Lasix, these horses all run. He's got huge numbers with horses like this.
Ferdinando was such a frustrating type in 2018 going into the beginning of 2019. She'd run well. She just couldn't win. It seemed like there was a little bit of hang in her, but Barclay Tagg was able to really unlock her potential last year. She came through with a couple of wins, and last time out in the Flower Bowl, she simply had no chance against Sister Charlie, who obviously finished 3rd in the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf in her very next start with a 100 buyer. That race again, I think they were just trying to get a valuable Grade 1 placing. They had her back to last. She finished up okay. You're not supposed to judge her off that race. She was getting good towards the end of last year, but she's one of those layoff horses.
Yeah, she's up a layoff here. You're right. The Flower Bowl, you just can't hold against her. She's not that kind of horse. She does struggle to win races. A lot of second-place finishes. I thought Barkley was actually really smart shipping her to Colonial 2-back. He found a great spot for her, and she dusted that field. This is going to be tougher.
Creus is the number 5 going out for Todd Pletcher, and she's got a little of the old Ferdinando in her. She's still eligible for a Now Winners of 2 Life with 5 lifetime runner-up finishes from 11 starts, including this race. Second off the bench, a Now Winners of 1 other than race. She's the gray. She had to go 4 wide on the backstretch and wide into the turn, but she's made the lead here, and she's just going to succumb late. She ran a big fig 2 starts back, Mike, in a field that produced 3 next out winners. She got a really nice trip in that race. I think if you like a horse like Creus, you have to look past the fact that she's not exactly a win machine and say, at least she has recency on her side.
She does have recency, and she's also got really good tactical speed. I mean, I can see a really good trip coming for her in here. I just wonder if she's good enough. I think she's facing a pretty tough field here, and I'm not sure how good she is, Dan.
Lemon Zip is the number 6, and when this barn claimed her for $12,500, you could tell they had a plan. It was get her back onto the turf and eventually stretch her out, and they made the right decision because she is now multiple stakes placed. Her last race was the Zagora at Aqueduct going 1.5 miles. She was in against Empress of the Nile. Empress of the Nile's in the teal silks. She just got a wonderful trip, saving ground most of the way, splitting horses. Lemon Zip, on the other hand, had to go 3 wide in between horses on the backstretch. Lemon Zip's in the gold on the outside of Empress of the Nile, and this is what's known as an old blanket finish. They both ran well.
Yeah, this is a big bunched up finish here. You're right. Empress of the Nile got a great trip and ride from Irad in here, but Lemon Zip ran well too. Wider all the way around the track. She still ran well. I guess the layoff could be a concern. I'm also just concerned about the shorter distance for Dan. I think she might want a little more ground in this.
Similar situation perhaps with the 7, Romantic Pursuit, a horse that once they stretched out to 10, 11 furlongs, got good for Kieran McLaughlin. The pace setter went 4th in the Jockey Club Oaks, 3rd in the Grade 2 Sands Point at 1 1/8 miles. I think that might be the race you could be looking for if you think that she can get back to 1 3/16 miles off the layoff. Last time out in the Long Island, I was kind of disappointed with that effort, Mike. She was up close to the pace and just had nothing in the lane.
Yeah, I was disappointed in that one too. That was probably just a little too tough for her because at the end of the day, Dan, it was her first, first stakes race against older horses. I thought that was a tough spot for her. I just appreciated the way that she was getting better with racing as a 3-year-old, and I can see her really improving again as a 4-year-old.
La Signare finally getting a chance to stretch back out to 9, 9.5 furlongs. She won the Grade 3 Wonder again. Second start in North America at 9 when she just got a great ride from Joel Rosario. Going 1 1/8 miles on the inner, you got to get to close to the rail. She was able to get to an easy lead. Last time out at the fairgrounds, I don't love the field she was in against, but I don't think that trip had to work for her off a little bit of a layoff. She can improve here.
Yeah, she can. She's got a break this time. She didn't break last time, and it really cost her because she does feel like a horse who she just wants to be forward, Dan. She's been really disappointing since she won the Wonder again, where, as you say, she just got absolutely loose on the lead in there. The ride probably did it, but I still thought she ran well, and I actually had high hopes for her, and it hasn't really worked out so far. We'll see if she can turn things around here.
Elizabeth Way, the number 9, made her first start in North America for Roger Attfield at Gulfstream in the maiden race. I really like the way she finished that race off. We're going to watch her right now. She is in the yellow cap, the number 4, easing to the outside. She's in the clear now, and she's going to run by these leaders. This was a good effort with a solid 80 Beyer speed figure, and she has the pedigree to do anything, being by the great Frankel.
Yeah, I actually like this win from her. She was last early in this race, too, and just mid-moved up the backstretch to get into position and then came with that finish still. That was a really nice effort for her, Dan. I'm very interested to see what she does in here. She's a big price. I'm using her.
Empress of the Nile is the number 10. We saw her with that good trip to win the Zagora. She raced once more in 2019 after that in the Grade 3 Long Island Stakes, and she didn't exactly get that same kind of trip. She was 4 wide on the backstretch, 3 wide entering the 3rd turn, forced out a little bit into the stretch, and again, once she got to the clear, she was grinding it out and trying hard, but that makes me think she really wants a little more distance than this.
I sort of feel the same way about her. I think she might want to go longer. She's really, really grindy. You saw that in the video we showed before when she won the Zagora. It took her forever to make her way to the lead, but she finally got there. We'll see. Layoff here, going a little bit shorter. I think there are things working against her, especially if she's going to be a short price.
The 11 Reigning Lemons, a 1-run closer. She's going to need some pace up front. She was 4th in the La Prevoyante in a race where there was no pace whatsoever. You might want to upgrade that performance as you would upgrade a horse like Tariqa. Tariqa handled her in the Via Borghese, and I think Tariqa has more tactical speed than this one.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I mean, her running style just really works against her. She has no speed at all. She's gonna have to pass a lot of good horses to win this race.
English Affair won the Grade 3 Cardinal Handicap at Churchill Downs, and it looked like she was going to be on her way for Rusty Arnold. And she's only run once since then, the La Prévoyante, if you want to call that running. She never got out of first gear. Now she's been away a year and a half. Rusty's showing a lot of confidence running this horse in this spot off that kind of layoff.
I thought the same exact thing. I really liked the form that she was in when we last saw her, but that was a long time ago. I don't know what you're going to get here.
Top pick time for The Very One, a Grade 3 race, race number 7, kicking off a 50-cent pick 4. You like Tariqa, the number 2, better pace setup, better distance.
Yeah, I just like this distance for her a lot. And again, I really like that win 2 back over this same exact trip.
I don't have a strong opinion in this race, but I want a horse with recency. These layoff horses, they might want a little more distance. They may need a race. Cap de Creus is not exactly a win machine. She's been anything but in her career for Pletcher, but maybe third off the layoff with the tactical speed that Mike alluded to. She can be a decent price. 5-10-6-4 for me, 2-1-10-3 for Mike. It's the Grade 3, The Very One, with an approximate post of 2:27 Eastern. Good luck.